Hello, everyone, and welcome to Weather Impact Live. I'm meteorologist Lee Southwick. We have a lot to talk about today, but first and foremost, I want to say happy St. Patrick's Day. I got my green on. I hope you do too. By the way, I was told I need to point this out. These are sheep on my sweatshirt, on my whatever this is, sweatshirt. It could be clouds, I understand, as I'm a meteorologist, but it's sheep, Ireland. We're trying to be festive here today. We are, of course, going to talk about St. Patrick's Day. We're going to take a look at some Green Rivers, talk about forecast there, maybe even take a look at Dublin's forecast. But first and foremost, I want to start with the storms that we saw yesterday, but that a huge portion of the country saw yesterday, bringing so many different impacts. Here locally, we had some beneficial rainfall. Thank goodness, right? We needed the rain. We did not need the severe weather and the storm damage, but we did need the rain. And Jacksonville at the airport got over half an inch of rain. Orange Park got over an inch of rain. So some beneficial rain there. But you'll see here that we did get a lot of reports, damage reports in some spots where you see the houses there. These are areas that we either had reports of trees down, of power lines down, lots of them kind of in the Duval County area, some of them up in Nassau, and then more as we head south, it goes a bit more scattered. And when we take a look up here into Southeast Georgia, there's two, one near St. George, and then one over in Jekyll, a wind report there. But yes, we did have some storm reports come out of our area, of course. Yesterday, we had damage reports from Flagler and Putnam to Union, and our own Christina Burgess actually went out and saw some of the damage with her own eyes, and we have a report from her now.
I saw people over here and I'm like, what's going on? And then I got out of my car and I'm like, ain't no way.
In Hilliard, residents are still stunned. The powerful winds from Monday's severe storms
toppled the awning at a Sunoco gas station.
Destiny Carroll lives right across the street and says she couldn't believe what she was seeing when the storms moved through.
This thing has survived many hurricanes. So for the fact like the wind had to have blown it over like this it's unbelievable. And the rain's just coming down so hard. I can't even see like 2 feet in front of me. So it was absolutely insane. No one could see where they were on the road.
The gas station sits on County Road 108 and Indiana Avenue in Hilliard in Nassau County.
An area surrounded by neighborhoods and nearby schools. An employee inside tells First Coast News the awning collapsed around 11 Monday morning. No one was hurt. Even with the damage, the gas station stayed busy throughout the day, visited by frequent shoppers like Devin Dolly, who lives down the street.
I mean, it's kind of crazy, but I didn't know the wind was that bad.
Severe thunderstorms ripped across the First Coast. In Flagler County, in the DuPont area, strong winds were reported. And in Clay County, this video shows intense rain moving through Fleming Island. The severe weather also caused damage in Duval County, where trees were knocked down
Near Bowden Road.
Christina Burgess, First Coast News on your side.
Pretty wild stuff. And we weren't the only ones, unfortunately, as well, that had to deal with some damage across the country. Lots of places. You can see here, this is a radar loop over the past 18 hours being impacted by this strong front. And so when it comes to damage, we had a couple of tornadoes. So the first video I'm going to show you is out of Charlotte, North Carolina. This sent in by our sister station, WCNC. An EF0 tornado tore the roof off of a warehouse in Northeast Charlotte. This again was yesterday. The National Weather Service confirmed it was a tornado with 85-mile-per-hour winds, and it hit the building around 10:30 a.m. It ripped off a large section of the roof and caused other damage to the property. Good news is no one was hurt. The Weather Service meteorologist surveyed the warehouse and said that it was the most damage they had seen from the storm. So this seems to be about the worst of it. But yeah, unfortunately, a good bit of damage seen there with that one warehouse, that one building, again, with winds of 85 miles an hour. And so we're going to hear here shortly from Thomas Winsett of the National Weather Service. He's a meteorologist there in Charlotte. But again, you can see just a little bit of debris, water dripping in.
Yeah, so it was 1.5 miles long was the total path, and it started just southwest of here and then ended just to the northeast. So this was the worst damage, was right in here. The additional damage was mainly limited to a few snapped tree limbs and some snapped trees as well.
And so that tornado was 25 yards wide. And that was again Charlotte, North Carolina. Now we got to jump over to Alabama. Northern Alabama had some storm damage as well. There was a severe weather there. It brought down trees across North Alabama on Monday. Lisa Haraway took these pictures in Anderson, Alabama, of what appears to be the tornado forming. You could kind of see it there between the lightning strikes. And whatever form the storm took, it left a lot of damage behind. In Lexington, people put on their winter coats and pulled out their chainsaws to cut up the fallen trees. And all around the area, there were trees pulled from the ground by their roots, and others with the tops sheared off. Brad Jackson noticed the wind completely stopped during the storm, but he went out to check it out, and that's when his ears started hurting. Then the wind picked back up, and that's when he knew he needed to take cover. So we're going to hear from him, Brad Jackson. Obviously, you can tell that's when the tornado or
That's when I
the
told
pressure
my
was dropping.
daughter, I was like, get in the hallway. As soon as we got there, it wasn't maybe just a few seconds. It just got really, really loud, and the house just kind of popped. And that's when I was like, oh crap, and I saw a flash, which was, I guess, one of the transformers. And just over in the flash.
Man, okay. So just a couple of the damage reports from parts of the south and southeast. But you can see there on that radar loop the snow that started falling. We're gonna stay in Alabama. Take a look at this. This is out of Birmingham. So Birmingham, Alabama isn't a place that gets snow often, but it did snow there yesterday. It wasn't a lot of snow, just some snow showers, but it was enough to accumulate on those cold surfaces. So it didn't stick to the roads, is what I mean there. Just kind of sticking. As you can see, roads are clear, but sticking to the grass and to some of the buildings. So it came in with that cold front, and obviously temperatures now dropping all across the country. So again, that's a look out at Birmingham. Now I have another crazy video I want to show you because we're just on the topic of snow. I have a video of a snowmobile, really a snowmobiler being rescued. So this snowmobiler is safe after being rescued from an ice sheet. So yes, it's an ice sheet floating out there in the water, had to be rescued by the Coast Guard. The U.S. Coast Guard Great Lakes shared the time-lapse video of the rescue. The snowmobiler stranded on ice near, Mackinac Island, I think, was pulled, Mackinac, yes, was pulled to safety by the U.S. Coast Guard cutter Mackinac Sunday evening. Oh my goodness, they're tripping me up here. So the local fire officials say serious weather conditions complicated the rescue, with that area experiencing the whiteout conditions, the waist deep snow drifts, jagged ice flows. The person was brought aboard the boat and had to receive some medical care, but he is in stable condition, according to the Coast Guard. And the snowmobile was also recovered. So, how about that? So, you're seeing the remnants, this again, the 18-hour time lapse of what blew through our area. So, temperatures behind it significantly colder. We've been experiencing frigid temperatures this morning, wind chills that are freezing, but it's currently at 10:40 a.m., 44 degrees in Jacksonville. We look across the country, 6 degrees in Minneapolis, 7 degrees in Green Bay. They had a ton of snow up there too, 15 degrees in Chicago, and then Phoenix, 70 degrees, Los Angeles, 63 degrees. That sounds pretty nice. So now we're going to completely talk about something different. We were just talking about the cold and the snow. Did you know there's a heat wave happening right now in Southern California? So we have some video of this too out of California. Sweltering temperatures are set to increase again this week. So it's another unseasonable warm up. The heat is thanks to that ridge of high pressure down there that will cause a lot of the region to get into the 90s. Parts of the Southland, such as the deserts and the inland communities, could experience triple-digit temperatures. Isn't that crazy? The hot weather can obviously pose a risk to your health, to the public. There's vulnerable communities such as children, the elderly, those who are pregnant. So it's just crazy that the CDC is now advising those people to limit the amount of time outdoors because of how hot it is. And then meanwhile, we've been talking about the snow and the frigid temperatures that so many of us are dealing with. So keeping in the theme of heat, this is our last big jump across the country when it comes to weather. we got to talk about wildfires. So many firefighters right now are braving the cold, windy temperatures as they work to control a wildfire that's burning up the region in south central Nebraska. Lonnie Walton has more on this.
Got people guiding us to where to go. People pull up and say, hey, you need to go to road 752.
James Taylor is part of the many firefighters braving the cold, windy temps to stop the grass fires from burning up the town.
It's hard on us, but it's a lot easier in the daylight than some of the guys that have been here all night running these discs.
Tracy Atkinson is also a firefighter. He says just when these firemen think the fire is over, he says another hot spot pops up. He says, and they are putting in the hours.
They're getting very tired. We're trying to get some groups switched around.
And even though they're doing their best, things don't always turn out the way they would like them to.
There's been property loss, yes.
That said, several organizations and community members are stepping up to support their fellow firefighters.
They're helping us out any way they can, bringing stuff in, making sure we're fed and taken care of.
Both of these men are thankful for the community contributions, but there's just one more thing left to do.
I'm going to go home and take a big, long nap.
A nap well-deserved. Reporting in Farnham, I'm Lonnie Walton.
All right, so that's a look out across the country at all the wild weather happening nationally. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, it is St. Patrick's Day. Let's take a look at the weather in Dublin, at the weather in Chicago, where the river's green, and of course, our forecast. How chilly are we going to stay all day today? And then we'll take a look into the future as well and talk about our 7-day forecast. What about rain chances? What about a big warm-up? All of it's coming after the break.
That is the Protector.
This truck is a beast.
It's got all the tools on it. I love how big the tires are.
And this is going to be able to show you the weather around the First Coast like you've never seen it before.
The Protector really is going to help protect the community.
So you can see what it looks like on the ground. And that allows folks to really take action and do something about it.
And it gives us that edge in continuing to be the most accurate weather team.
Sponsored by HananiahAutos.com.
I'm Keitha Nelson. Good morning, Jacksonville anchor and mom of twins, Journey and Trey. I'm on your side, getting you out the door and off to a great start. Make the move to Good Morning Jacksonville on First Coast News. Weekdays from 4:30 to 9, anywhere you watch.
First Coast Living Live.
Bringing you closer to the tastiest food.
The best shopping.
And family fun.
Woo! Jordan Wilkerson and David Benfield. First Coast Living Live. Weekdays at 11 a.m. only on NBC 12.
We have new details about a heavy police presence in Jacksonville Beach.
Driver fired gunshots along the interstate today, prompting a police chase.
Stream extended coverage on First Coast News Plus.
The First Coast News weather team is here to deliver your most accurate forecast with weather impact alerts to warn you about severe weather and up-to-the-minute information on First Coast News Plus.
The wave of moisture rolls its way on in here.
Our team is the most equipped and experienced to help you prepare and keep you safe.
The First Coast News weather team is always on your side. Stream extended coverage on First Coast News Plus.
My mission is to help you get to where you're going safely. Whether it's helping you beat the backup on 95 or navigating the slowdown on JTB, we've got you covered. Make the move to Good Morning Jacksonville on First Coast News. Weekdays live from 4:30 to 9, anywhere you watch.
Did you know that our weather here today, when it comes to temperatures, very similar to Dublin, Ireland? Isn't that appropriate for St. Patrick's Day? So it is currently 54 degrees there. They have highs in the 50s. It was 55 around noon their time. Now you can see that it's at the 2 o'clock hour, 2:47 p.m. up there in the corner. As of this recording, we are recording at 10:47 a.m., 2:47 p.m. over there in Ireland. So it's in the 50s there. And that is what our weather is like here as well. Now, of course, all across the country, lots of people are celebrating. And we do have a video of the river turning green in Chicago. I just want to show you that really quick. Of course, we know that the river turns green in many places like Savannah, so a lot closer to home. This is just the video that I had to show you guys as well, just to get in that celebratory spirit. I actually have some tidbits on this too. So the Chicago River that the leprechauns responsible for making it turn green are actually members of the Chicago Plumbers Union. They enlist an armada of boats, including some river boats with spectators on board, and use a concoction that sprays dye out of the plumbing pipes and spouts pumps into the river. The mysterious mixture, which was originally used by plumbers to discover leaks in broken pipes, actually comes out orange. The color then quickly changes to green once the dye sets in, and the impeccable, brilliant green only lasts for a few hours, but the river remains green for days before it slowly fades over time. How about that? All right, so let's get here locally now, since it is so chilly out there. Our temperatures here in the 10 o'clock hour sitting in the 40s. The wind chills, though, are still in the 30s in a lot of spots. It is in the over 20 degrees colder right now than it was this time yesterday. And we talked about the wind chills, of course, the wind making it feel even cooler out there. We have some stronger gusts that time in the teens and in the 20s. So today, our high temperatures only staying in the 50s. So it'll stay breezy as well with those winds 10 to 15 miles an hour and stronger gusts, making it feel cooler at times. So here's a look at your highs across the First Coast today. Again, 50s, upper 50s inland, middle 50s for those of you closer to the coast. So if you are heading out this evening for any St. Patrick's Day festivities, those temperatures will be dropping through the 50s. Be aware it will get cold quickly. We'll be in the 40s, falling into the 40s by around 8 o'clock tonight. And some winter weather alerts are in effect tomorrow morning. Another morning of winter on the way. But I also have warmer than normal temperatures in the 7-day forecast as well. It's about to get very warm again. Lots to talk about after this next break.
That is the Protector.
This truck is a beast.
It's got all the tools on it. I love how big the tires are.
And this is going to be able to show you the weather around the First Coast like you've never seen it before.
The Protector really is going to help protect the community.
So you can see what it looks like on the ground. And that allows folks to really take action and do something about it.
And it gives us that edge in continuing to be the most accurate weather team.
Sponsored by HananiahAutos.com.
I'm Keitha Nelson. Good morning, Jacksonville anchor and mom of twins, Journey and Trey. I'm on your side, getting you out the door and off to a great start. Make the move to Good Morning Jacksonville on First Coast News. Weekdays from 4:30 to 9, anywhere you watch.
First Coast Living Live.
Bringing you closer to the tastiest food.
The best shopping.
And family fun.
Woo!
Jordan Wilkerson and David Benfield. First Coast Living, live. Weekdays at 11 a.m. only on NBC 12.
We have new details about a heavy police presence in Jacksonville Beach.
Driver fired gunshots along the interstate today, prompting a police chase.
Stream extended coverage on First Coast News Plus.
The First Coast News weather team is here to deliver your most accurate forecast with weather impact alerts to warn you about severe weather and up-to-the-minute information on First Coast News Plus.
The wave of moisture rolls its way on in here.
Our team is the most equipped and experienced to help you prepare and keep you safe.
The First Coast News weather team is always on your side. Stream extended coverage on First Coast News Plus.
My mission is to help you get to where you're going safely. Whether it's helping you beat the backup on 95 or navigating the slowdown on JTB, we've got you covered. Make the move to Good Morning Jacksonville on First Coast News. Weekdays live from 4:30 to 9, anywhere you watch.
So we are cooling on down again tonight. We just talked about if you have any St. Patrick's Day plans, those temperatures drop quickly through the 50s, down through the 40s, and then for some of you, it will be in the 30s. We do have some winter alerts in effect for our Wednesday morning, a freeze watch and a frost advisory, but this is for inland spots. So those temperatures getting down into the 30s in inland areas. We could have a light freeze. You can see there Waycross coming in at 32 degrees. That would be a freeze. We had a couple of spots hit freezing this morning, so I think it's definitely possible again tomorrow morning as well. Not everyone, but it is a possibility. And then for others of you, just some patchy frost. Remember, we have been saying that we always wait to plant until St. Patrick's Day. And this is why it is St. Patrick's Day. And we know now that we can't plant today, we can't plant tomorrow. So we get a better idea and general understanding here on the First Coast when we hit St. Patrick's Day if we're good to go or not. And so we think after this we'll be good to go, but this is why you always hold off and you don't put away your winter clothes yet until St. Patrick's Day because, oh man, it has been cold. So there's look at your cold temperatures again tomorrow morning, one more morning of winter. But then we're going to warm up a little bit. High temperatures getting into the 60s. So still a cool afternoon, but a couple of degrees warmer than today, especially for those inland spots where you move into the 60s. A few spots right along the coast may stay in the 50s, but again, generally speaking, we'll tack on a few degrees compared to today. The warm up is going to continue from there. Temperatures rise into the upper 60s by Thursday. That it's a slow warming trend. We got more of an onshore breeze on Thursday. Notice our morning lows in the 40s. So here's a look at the temperature trends. Let's start with the low temperatures. We move out of the 30s and into the 40s by Thursday morning. And then by Sunday morning, we're in the 50s. So you can see the warming trend already with the morning lows. What about our afternoon high temperatures? So 50s today. Today's high is colder than Sunday morning's low temperature. Isn't that wild? Normally this time of year, we're around 75 degrees. So these temperatures today, much colder than normal, staying colder than normal Wednesday and Thursday. And we're right near average on Friday. That's when highs return to the 70s. But we don't stop there. We're going to get into the 80s over the weekend and into early next week. What about rain? We talked about rain at the top of this stream, the rainfall totals that we saw yesterday, much needed rain because we were in a drought. So we don't want the severe weather, but we do want the rain. Rain chances are non-existent through Saturday. So just a friendly reminder again that we are under drought-like conditions. I mean, all across the Southeast, but here locally for us, we are under an extreme drought. Every single one of us under that extreme drought. So when do we see rain again? Those rain chances are very low on my 7-day forecast, coming in at 10% on Sunday and on Monday. So I think we're going to be sunny. We're cooler today in the 50s. Then we start warming up some. Again, tomorrow morning, it's quite cold as well. So one more look at those rain chances in case you missed the top of the stream, since we do need the rain. Yesterday's rainfall was beneficial. The storm damage we absolutely can always do without, not beneficial. But Jacksonville, 0.64 inches of rain. That's at the airport, JAX. And so over half an inch, we will take it. And then 0.28 inches in St. Augustine, 0.29 in Fernandina Beach, Brunswick, 0.39, and then over an inch of rain in Orange Park. Now, if you look at the bottom of this where it says rain right there, so these are your rainfall totals. This is all about the Jacksonville airport. It all comes out of the Jacksonville airport. So with yesterday's rainfall, we have now received 1.5 inches total for the month. That's huge compared to where we have been since September. So this year, we're almost at 3.5 inches. It's still below average though, so we're still in a deficit. You can see our departure from normal for the year, over 4 inches below normal. So we still need more of that rain. Meanwhile, man, look at those current conditions right now in Jacksonville. 44 degrees, 27 degrees cooler than this time yesterday. Our pressure is now rapidly rising. So at 30 now, but obviously rapidly rising. Yesterday, it's rapidly falling with that front coming through. Now the high pressure is building. Now we'll see lots of sunshine for a long time. Cool and breezy today. In fact, quickly before we go, I would like to show you our wind speeds. Again, so you're out to step out the door, be prepared for those chilly temperatures, but then the wind making it feel worse. So some of you calm, but other places have double digits. And then those gusts are even stronger. 23 mile per hour wind gusts clocked at the Jacksonville airport, 24 NAS Jax. And here's a look at our current temperatures, 40s, all across the board. Everyone in the 40s right now, and wind chills in the 30s still for some of us. So one last look at your most accurate 7-day forecast here on the First Coast. We're talking about a cold St. Patrick's Day. Highs today up into the 50s. You need your sweater all day. If your sweater has sheep, you get bonus points. Also, if you have bracelets, Look at this. Okay, so obviously I can't wear green when I'm doing the weather on the green screen because it goes see-through. So I wear orange. This is an orange dress because I try to represent the Irish flag to be festive in that way. I've been trying to wear some bracelets on air so people don't pinch me. And we talked about this with Malcolm over the weekend, but I have a little bit of green on my nails too to try to avoid being pinched today on St. Patrick's Day. Cold tomorrow. Freeze possible for some of you inland, frosty for others of you inland, 40s out at the beaches. Then we're going to get into the 60s later on in the day. So still a chilly day overall on our Wednesday, but not as cold in the afternoon as it will be this afternoon. And then we're getting into the 60s on Thursday, into the 70s on Friday, and into the 80s over the weekend. Thank you everyone so much for joining me on this Weather Impact Live. Have a great rest of your St. Patrick's Day.